There's something peculiar about we human beings in that we often don't really get it unless we relate events to ourselves. For example, when we see the devastation of a hurricane in Houston, we don't fully understand and have to see the suffering up close and personal to begin to imagine what it would be like for ourselves if we were in those circumstances. That's what it takes for us to get it. So it is with March for Our Lives, as most of us have not been directly touched by gun violence. The Parkland community, all the people of Newtown and Aurora and San Bernardino and Orlando and Las Vegas, they get it because they've lived it. Here's how you can start to get it. If you have a child or a grandchild, if you know someone who is a school kid, or if you ever were a kid, then imagine someone with an AR-15 showing up and firing over 100 bullets in 6 minutes 20 seconds and killing and maiming dozens of kids you know. Just imagine the hallway in your high school that seems so ordinary, then suddenly someone shows up and sprays bullets from his assault rifle into your friends and maybe into you, and you're lying in blood. Are you starting to get it yet? At the Chicago March for Our Lives, all the presenters were students. Here's what they want you to know. They are sick deep into their souls from the murders of their friends and family members. Their pain is etched into their faces and they suffer every day. In case you're white, they want you to understand that black and brown skin is not bulletproof, and that they feel the agony of danger and loss just like you would. They want you to know that they will outlive you and they will vote in huge numbers. Further, they will not stop until they get the safety they want for themselves, for their little brothers and sisters, and for their children to come. Some say enough is enough, but that isn't right, because there is no enough bullet-riddled children. There's only the reality of the suffering and dying that has no purpose. There are the suicides that are made so easy by the presence of a gun. There is the insanity that we tolerate only because it hasn't come close enough to ourselves to feel it. But it probably came close enough to your heart in Parkland, Florida, and at Sandy Hook Elementary School, when you found out those little 6-year-old bodies had multiple bullets ripped through them, and at Columbine, you probably get it because you were a kid once. You remember the classes and the hallways, and you knew the brooding, angry kid who he was. Maybe you can imagine that kid coming to school to wreak his vengeance for his imagined wrongs. Maybe wrought on you just because you happen to be in the hallway between classes. For our legislators, don't even think about offering thoughts and prayers or weasel words. Get on the right side of history or start updating your resume, because these people are going to send you home. By the way, in the 17th school shooting in the first 80 days of this year, that's one every 4 days, a kid shot 2 students at Great Mills High School in Maryland 5 days ago. One of them was a 16-year-old girl the shooter knew. She died on Thursday. She could have been your daughter. She could have been you. Now you get it. It's time for sweeping change. I'm Jack Altshuler.